Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a conversation about the mundane. One thing that we can promise, or at least we hope to deliver, is a conversation that's less than fascinating so that you can drift off. I will, however, say that today's episode I just want to bring a little attention to it and give a trigger warning, because we are going to be talking about boxing, and that might, make you feel like, oh, I won't be able to sleep. But we're going to talk about the technical aspect of boxing and really delve in deep with that. And but we will be talking about throwing punches, just so you're aware. I'm your host, Marco Timpano, and joining me is a dear friend who's a great boxer. Welcome, Clodagh Power.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And what a great name for someone who's a boxer, the last name Power.
Yeah, it's quite fitting.
That's not your stage name, that's your actual last name, correct?
Yeah. It's from the Swedish. Essentially, we came from the Vikings, who moved to northern France, then came to invade Ireland in 1169. De Puer is what it translates to, which originally came from poor fisherman.
Wow. So, of course, that leads us to know that you're Irish and currently living in Canada.
Yes.
But you've lived in the States, you've lived everywhere. Have you boxed everywhere?
I didn't box when I lived in Japan.
Okay.
They weren't too keen on having me do any kind of full contact sport there.
Okay.
But New York, I was very interested in martial arts there, kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, and MMA, in Dublin and here in Canada as well.
And is the scene different? Do you find that the scene is different in all those countries, or are they very similar?
Very different.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very different. I really got into it in New York, like very invested in it,
Okay.
and that's what changed everything for me. And in Dublin, I found in New York there was a lot more women.
Okay.
In Dublin, until I started coaching, I found that in the classes and in the gyms that I was attending, there was very few. I would often be the only one.
I see.
And then I coached, and I found that more women came, and maybe it was because I was a female coach.
Okay.
But it was definitely a lot more open.
And here in Canada?
Here in Canada, it's very different, a different structure. I'm very interested in sparring in full contact, but you have to register with the Ontario Boxing Association. There's a lot more paperwork here.
I see. Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, let's delve into boxing.
Yeah, my brother put me in. His kickboxing coach in our little small town had actually been doing a women's only class one weekend, and my brother knew I was always trying to emulate what I saw on TV. So he put me in. He was like, "This is a good time for you to learn how to fight, just in case anything ever comes up, as you're a woman."
Okay.
He was progressive.
Sure.
And my mom didn't love it, so she kind of curved it until I went to university and I couldn't be tamed.
Okay.
And I signed up for every martial art: kickboxing, judo, kung fu.
Wow.
And then just years of different training, I found that Muay Thai and boxing were what I loved the most. And after a few small injuries here and there, boxing was something that I found that I was teaching as well.
Wow. Okay, so let me unpack this first of all for our listeners who are like, why are they doing an episode on boxing? That seems like an exciting topic, and I might not be able to sort of find my way to sleep. But the reason I want to talk about the technical aspect of this sport, because a lot of people know it as this dramatic sort of thing that takes place in a ring and like a lot of fast movements. And so you'd think, why would this be a topic for Insomnia? And I'm like, no, I want to talk about the technical and how complex it is. And I feel like that's going to be less dramatic than the actual sport when you watch it on television.
Yeah, definitely.
But you said that your mom wanted you in Irish dancing. Did you take years of Irish dancing?
No, I took about a month.
Okay, because I was going to ask if that helped with your boxing at all, but
no.
Okay.
I was a child. I did about a month of Irish dancing.
Okay.
I got the flu, and I was like, I'm done.
So we found out how you got to boxing. Let's talk about the technical aspect of boxing. So having never boxed before, what are some tips you would give to someone who is thinking of studying boxing?
slow down.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone comes in, they want to have fast hands and move and look really cool. Don't. It's the first thing I teach people is just how to stand still.
Okay.
Where your feet are, just understanding where your body is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very slow. I always tell people on your first class, you probably won't break a sweat.
Okay.
It's just simple things like when you learn how to step forward is something that people find really hard. When we walk, we go left, right. When you're in boxing, you get in a stance and you keep that stance.
I see.
So if you're right-handed, then you're left foot forward.
Okay.
I'm left-handed, so my right leg is forward. My power shot comes from my backhand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's teaching people that you are going with the opposite way that you think you're going. So if a right-handed person comes in, they think, I should lead with my right hand. But you want to keep that in the back until you really need to like break someone's face.
I see. So it reminds me of when you are, what's the term? When you're driving and you have, you're towing you're counter steering. So you have let's say a hitch on the back of your car and you have to back up or go in reverse. You're counter steering because your hitch might go the opposite way that you turn the wheel. So you have to sort of think, I've got to turn the wheel the opposite way that I think so that the hitch or the thing you're towing, in my case, it was a trailer full of bikes. When I was in Europe, I had to turn the wheel the opposite way so that the trailer would start turning the way I wanted it to. That's what this sounds like to me. So it's sort of retraining your brain to realize that the foot that you normally use coordinated with the hand are not necessarily the foot and hand you're going to use in the same manner in the rink. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. When I'm teaching people, I usually try and tell them with your left hand, which would be most people's weaker hand,
right?
You knock on the door gently, and then you use your right hand to break down the door.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's the easiest way to explain it to someone. Mm-hmm. So your left hand, which would be where you jab.
Sure.
It's a fast, and it's a very important punch, mm-hmm. but it's usually a lighter punch. So you knock on the door. Okay. You don't get a response. Right. Then you break it down.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And I guess being grounded in your feet and in your body is key. That's why the first lesson sort of teaches you that?
Yeah. So it's all about where your feet move and how you move your feet to channel your hips. Okay. So when you're throwing that power shot off your backhand, for most people your right hand, mm-hmm. you have to come up in the ball of your foot, pivot so that your toes, knees, and hips are facing the direction of where you want your power to go. Okay. So in your general stance, your back foot, which is going to be your power shot, that is facing just slightly out. So if it's your right foot, it's going to be facing at about 2 o'clock. Okay. And then when you're throwing your hand from that side, so your right foot, you're going to turn it to 12 o'clock.
I see.
So that you're using your whole body to throw that punch. It never comes from your shoulder. It comes from your foot.
Wow. And who are some boxers that have great footwork that you've seen them in films or on video, or even just boxers that you're like, this person has great footwork?
I mean, everyone talks about Muhammad Ali's feet. They were phenomenal. He was doing beautiful dancing in the ring. And it was what gave him his edge. A lot of the time I spend a lot of my time watching footwork in the ring. And a lot of people nowadays, you can see where they'll falter in their feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's also in your head when you're in the ring. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of people suddenly watching you. It's a lot of money too, a lot of the time, and one false step and you lose everything. Okay. So a lot of time you can see and you can watch people. And I think also the heavier the person, the more they require their feet. Like Anthony Joshua, who is, he's English. He's huge guy, but he's very muscular. He faced off against Ruiz, who's a Mexican guy. Okay. He's not the physique of a boxer. He's a real hefty looking gentleman. Okay. One would call him fat if you saw him walking down the street. It was a often joke. Right. Anthony Joshua is like an Adonis.
Right.
He's gorgeous and sculpted and super tall. And Ruiz is just a fat dude who beat Joshua. And for a guy to look the way he does, to be on his toes the way he was, it's a lot on your calves.
Okay.
So, watching him move and, fully take down Anthony Joshua a few months ago during the summer, I think it was.
Okay.
And suddenly win all the belts.
Wow.
It was wild.
I guess that's the elegance of boxing that a lot of people don't necessarily identify with the sport right away, that there is this sort of poetic dance in the rink.
Yeah.
And that can lead someone to success where a novice or someone who doesn't know the sport well thinks, oh, it's all just punches. But it sounds to me that there's a lot in the feet that people don't realize that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, people joke about Mayweather, that he does laps around the ring. He's going to tire you out. He's going to keep his feet moving before he needs to use his hands.
Right.
And evasive techniques are avoiding a punch is just as important as throwing a punch. Because if you get hit in the face because your feet are planted and flat, then you're not going anywhere. You're going to get concussed.
Wow.
So lighten the feet.
Now, you talked about getting in your head. And I know that's something that, for myself, when I have insomnia, I often get in my head. What do you or boxers do to get out of their head in the moment?
For me, I count. It's a weird thing I always had that calmed me. I start to count my breathing, so it's in 2, 3, out 2, 3.
Okay.
And it's something that I've found. I went skydiving a few years ago, and it was the same thing. I had used it so much in boxing and Muay Thai when I'd get overwhelmed by an opponent that I might hold my breath if I'm getting punched or kicked a lot, and I would just slow it down, tighten my fists, and start to count. And any time that there was any panic, I found that, counting as you were breathing was something that would help calm me down a lot, because suddenly I wasn't focusing on, oh God, I need to get out of this corner, or I need to get off the ropes. It was like, okay, I need to breathe. And as I would breathe, I would start to move in conjunction with that breath.
I see. Now, you mentioned Muay Thai. Tell us some things about Muay Thai that the average person might not be aware of, or things that you love about that sport.
It's, again, you were talking about the elegance of boxing. Muay Thai is even more about your feet, because obviously you're using your legs, your knees, your elbows.
And this is a Thai form of boxing. Is that fair to say, or? Yeah,
it's Thai boxing is another phrase for it, but it's the art of 8 limbs. Okay. So you have punching with your hands, kicking, you have knees, and you have elbows. Okay. So it's 4 of each on either side, so that's 8. There was a few films that came out in the early 2000s. Tony Jaa would have been a very famous actor portraying Muay Thai. Okay. And he's phenomenal. It's much faster than boxing, and it's not given as much attention. When you look at MMA, there's a lot of boxing and grappling, but when I did MMA, my base was Muay Thai. So it meant that a lot of Muay Thai you sweep, so you take someone down, and that's that sort of, if you're familiar, that image where they get low to the ground. It almost looks like ballet moves, like, when Baryshnikov or someone is like jumping in the air and their legs go fully extended, but this is on the ground with a big sweep? No, it's from standing in a tall position.
Oh, what am I thinking then?
You're thinking of like a kung fu sweep.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. All right.
It's very confusing.
Clearly, I don't get in the rink at all. But anyways, go on.
So you would you clinch in boxing where you get really close. It's often perceived as hugging. In Muay Thai, you actively attack your opponent in a clinch. So if you're essentially hugging them around the neck and upper body, you use your knees to try and get it into their body. Okay. Throw a knee into the ribs if you can. One of my favorites was kneeing someone in the side of the thigh so that you could give.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfer is available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Ovation Hall at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City is the ultimate stage for world-class entertainment. An intimate venue with the best energy, state-of-the-art sound, and views that never miss. From top performers to A-list comedians and legendary acts, these are the shows you don't want to miss. Let the music take over. Go for the laughs that keep you coming back. Go for the nights you'll never forget. Visit theoceanac.com to view the complete entertainment lineup at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Go to Ocean. Go for the win.
I'm a dead leg.
Okay.
And then from there, if you move your hips and you move your feet a little bit, you can, from a standing position, sweep your opponent and get them on their back on the ground. So Muay Thai is, it can be a very long distance if you have your legs and you're kicking them, keeping them out of your range, or you can get in incredibly close and elbow someone in the head.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. How has boxing, Muay Thai, and all the other arts and sports that you know in this sort of area impacted your daily life in manners which you wouldn't have anticipated?
In terms of confidence,
okay.
I do realize that the more advanced I got, the more competent and just more skilled I became more confident in almost all aspects. I don't want to sound obnoxious, but I do think you're more aware of a lot of things. Like even in the workplace, I found that my attention span improved. Yeah, I think because you focus so much on where your feet are and where your hands are, and you think so much, like boxing is essentially like chess. It's very intellectually involved. I think that it tends to make you more alert in all aspects of your life. Walking down the street as a woman, I know chances are I can at least outrun someone.
Okay.
My cardio is pretty okay. And again, I have an awareness of my body and of someone else's body. If someone gets in close to me, again, you have a sweep and clinch option,
right,
if you're lucky and they don't have a knife. Or keep someone at a distance. You have an awareness of how to ground your body so you don't get taken down if someone comes for you. I think it just makes you mentally more capable. Tell
me more about this intellectual aspect or this chess aspect of boxing.
It's a lesson that a lot of the time when you're training, you do drills and it's repetition. And, we count our punches. 1 is your lead hand, 2 is your backhand, 3 is a hook, and then 4 is often an uppercut. You've 5 to the body, 6 to the body. And you'll shout like 2, 3, 2. So you know that it's punch number 2, followed by number 3, followed by number 2. You have head movements. So it's when we train a lot of repetition, but when you fight, you can't repeat. So
because your opponent will then be able to predict your next move.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't have a pattern, and on top of it, you can't expect someone else to have a pattern. When I started sparring for the first time, I would use my patterns. I would use my repetition, and I would use like 2, 3, 2, with a slip and a 2, it would be like my opponent, who would be much more skilled, would recognize it, would counter it, cut me off halfway.
Wow.
So you need to learn to adjust faster. You need to move around. You need to recognize. You need to keep an eye on their chest. Mm-hmm. If you keep an eye on the center of their body, you can see their feet and their shoulders.
Through micro movements or just?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because the second you move your hips, you're going to move, your chest starts to adjust. If you're moving your shoulders, your chest is adjusting. So I have a habit of always looking down when I'm walking.
Okay.
And so one of the things that I had to relearn was to keep my eyes further up. So I would watch people's feet a lot.
In the ring?
Yeah, when I started,
Okay.
I was always looking down, always looking at people's feet. My coach was like, great, keep looking at my feet. I'm going to keep hitting you in the face.
Right.
So it was a lesson he was like, if you want to look down, look at my chest all the time. He was like, you can see the whole world from the center.
Wow.
I mean, he was still brutal, and I'm short-sighted. Okay. Like my vision. So once I take off my glasses, it's hard for me to see certain things. I would go by color.
Okay.
So thankfully everyone has bright colors when they fight. You know, you see the reds and the blues. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to see. But I remember he made a joke one time. He said, you can't block what you can't see. He threw a punch at my face and then a kick at my face.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, did you see either of those? I said, no. He was like, because I'm too fast. I said, no, I'm short-sighted.
Oh. So how do you compensate for that?
Color.
Just color?
Yeah.
So you don't wear like contacts or anything like
contacts get knocked out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You take a few shots to the face. And they're on the ground. So so for him, when he would be shouting at me from a corner, he would tell me warmer or colder when it came to if I was too far away from my opponent. So he would do the compensation for me a lot.
Oh, wow.
Or, you know, he'd just shout closer, closer. Mm-hmm. Because oftentimes I would be too far away from my opponent. I would overestimate because I have long limbs.
Right.
So he would do the compensation for me unless he was training me and he decided to take full advantage.
Okay.
But yeah, it's back to the original question, which was you're using intellect in the fight. It is recognizing how other people move as well. So when we try and avoid patterns, there's only so much you can do. There's only so many combinations you can throw. And again, it's about figuring if your fighter is a close fighter or a distance fighter.
I see.
And it's about understanding people, engaging their understanding of you. So it is about trickery as much as it is about understanding yourself. It's about trying to be smarter than your opponent.
So can you, if you were to watch a boxer, let's say someone who's really popular, do you sort of get a sense of what their moves will be?
Yeah.
Okay.
You always kind of know. There's boxers out there who want to win on points, and there's boxers out there who want to decapitate their opponent. There's a very famous Irish boxer called Katie Taylor. Mm-hmm. She's very popular. She's a sporting icon for us. She's our hero. Okay. Person we're most proud of. She's very aggressive. She's a lovely human being. Very, very sweet.
Have you met her?
No.
Okay.
She in interviews.
Okay.
I've seen her in person. She actually came to my small town.
Oh, wonderful.
My mom surprised me with tickets, which was a very sweet thing to do after she took me out of training as a child. But she sent me there. It's a very small town, and you can see Katie Taylor after a fight will stand around and greet some children and encourage them. And
right.
You watch her on social media. She's always trying to tell little girls like, you can do this.
Right.
So yeah, she's a very kind person. She's a very religious person.
I see.
She's all about, thanking God for everything.
Okay.
And then you see her in the ring. I remember watching her in Boston maybe 2 years ago. She gets very angry in the ring.
Okay.
She's very powerful punches. She's very fast, but she gets very aggressive and she starts to ignore her coach. And you become a different person when you're in the ring.
Okay.
You think you're a certain way until someone punches you in the face, and it changes who you are on a cellular level almost.
Wow.
And I remember watching her. Her opponent was scared. To everyone in the audience, it looked like her opponent was scared of her. So she lay back on the ropes and said, "Hit me," and dropped her hands. And for someone who's such a lovely person,
right,
to see her essentially being disrespectful. She apologized afterwards. She says, "I'm so sorry. That was she didn't know what came over her."
Right.
But we all knew what came over her. You are a different person when you get in that ring. And you cannot think of, I really want to thank my mom.
Right.
You can only think of, I
want to beat my opponent.
Yeah, either I want to take your head off or I want to outclass you.
Okay.
She lost her class in that moment.
Okay.
And all she cared about was hitting this woman as hard as she could in the face.
I see.
And I think that's, you can watch someone and you can think that she's going to be a very graceful fighter.
Mm-hmm.
She's a brutal puncher.
Wow.
And you're just a different person. So my mom was shocked. My very elegant lady mother was quite shocked to see, someone who she had been like, she's such a lady.
Right.
Go in, kind of be rude.
Right. Let me ask you this, because you brought this up, and boxing has traditionally always been seen as a sport for men. What would you say to our listeners who identify as female, who might be thinking of getting into this sport, or thinking maybe their daughter or niece might enjoy this sport from the female perspective? How would you encourage females about this sport?
I always encourage women to take up any kind of combat sport. Maybe boxing isn't for you, maybe
Right.
Kung Fu is. I think that the people like Katie Taylor have opened up the space for us so much more. I trained predominantly with men. In Ireland, it was a gym owned by Polish men mostly.
Okay.
My coach was one of the only Irish. I think there's only 2 Irish coaches there. And the respect that people have for you when you're a woman and you step in, and you're always going to be a couple of pounds lighter and smaller than
Right.
the guys across from you. I was a little different. I'm quite tall.
Right.
And I was already training weights because of my brothers. But it's a different level of respect. I've never once encountered sexism in martial arts.
Okay.
And once you start to tell, like, there's going to be men who will challenge you and say, oh, you think you can fight?
Right.
Could you knock me out? Chances are yes. You wouldn't even have to learn how to fight to knock someone out. It's biology. There's a point in your jaw where the skull and your jawbone meet. One swift punch there, you can knock anyone out regardless of their size. So it's not even about power. It's about knowledge and awareness of your body. But for a woman to take it, it's a graceful, beautiful sport like we spoke.
Right.
With your feet and that movement. It's also training your body and understanding how you move. I found that in my last few years as a coach, I've had more women than men take my class because I'm a female instructor.
Okay.
I think it was a 2-to-1 ratio we had when I was teaching in Dublin of women coming in, and they wanted to learn. And they didn't just want to learn like for fitness.
Right.
They wanted to learn to fight. And I coached people, and I remember one woman in particular went in and had a fight within 3 months of starting training.
Oh, wow.
She had never thrown a punch in her life. She
Right.
just happened to be the same height and build as me. And I was like, I'm going to teach you how to fight.
That's great.
And within 3 months, she went in. She won her fight.
Oh, she won too.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive as well, right?
Yeah, she went against a girl who had done, she'd been training. The other girl had been training for a few years. That girl had also, she'd taken some white-collar fights. So
Okay.
that's, I guess it's white-collar is not serious. It's
I
not
see.
amateur, but everyone was registered as an amateur boxer.
Okay.
My friend Claire, she was taller than her. Height matters.
It does in boxing.
You get reach.
Oh, of course.
So we knew that her opponent was shorter than her. So for the weeks leading up to it, I put her with shorter men and women to train. And I said, they're going to attack your body.
Okay.
And be like, you have to defend. They're not going to hit your head. They're going to hit you in the body. So she had to change up everything. When she would train with me, we were even.
Right.
When she would train with a shorter person, I was like, they're going to hit you right in your solar plexus.
Okay.
They're going to take the air out of your lungs. You have to stop that. And you have to keep them at a distance.
Right.
And you have to change the game for them. So it was just about putting people in to change everything for her, make her rethink her entire style. And yeah, she won, which was really cool. But again, she only had, I think, 3 months of training.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I love the aspect of strategy that was put into place with regards to this particular fight. I didn't, not that I didn't realize it, but you sort of breaking it down makes me realize how much strategy is involved in this sport.
Yeah, once you know who you're against, depends if they're left-handed or right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
As a left-handed fighter, I wouldn't let them know I was left-handed.
I see.
I would train right-handed, and I would start a fight right-handed, and then I would switch. I would switch my feet, and I would switch my dominant hand. And because I trained both left and right,
I see.
My jab when I was in my right-handed stance was from my power hand. So I had a jab that was heavier and harder than it should have been.
Okay.
And my coach, who was also left-handed, encouraged it.
Right.
He said, when you step in that ring, you step in right-handed. When you finish your opponent, you finish left-handed.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's about trickery.
This is great, Clodagh. Thank you so much. Now that we've got to the real meat of boxing, we're also towards the end of this episode. Thank you for holding no punches and talking about boxing in this episode. And I encourage everyone listening that this is a sport of elegance, of strategy, of getting out of your head, and of power. And I encourage anyone, as I'm sure you do,
all the time.
This is a great sport to get into.
Yes.
Thank you, Clodagh. And thank you for listening to the Insomnia Project. This episode was recorded in Toronto, Canada. Until next time.